It's not a secret that I was, let's say, slightly dismissive of the initial version of Splitgate 2. I kinda hated it in fact. It was extremely disappointing as it seemed to me like it was simply a trend-chasing effort and not really a true sequel of Splitgate. But the developers have taken feedback from the community and worked on the final release, because back then that was technically still an open beta version, and the final release improved the game a lot. It revamped stuff, it added much needed stuff, and it feels better to play overall. So what happened? Well, Splitgate 2 was renamed to Splitgate Arena Reloaded. The name change is presumably a nod to the fact that it's more like the original Splitgate again. But I'm not sure if that name is a good idea though, as it could be confusing. I think something like Splitgate 2.0 would have been better. But what do I know? I'm not a PR agent or anything. But the name change comes with a complete overhaul of how the core game is set up. The biggest change is the classes. They are gone, like completely just removed from the game. The only remnants of them now are that you can use them as character skins. All the ultimate abilities of them have been reworked as power-ups that spawn on the maps, and you can now use any weapon and any perk you want in any combination you want to create your loadout. I think this change was very important, as the original class system made the game just insanely cumbersome to even get into. Having to level multiple characters just to get decent loadouts for them was annoying, and locking weapons that were just slight variations of each other behind those classes was such a dumb idea. So them being gone instantly improves the game by 10x in my opinion. There are also smaller changes, like the new way to block entire portal surfaces by placing 2 portals on them. That's an interesting and fun new strategic option, and reminds me of the first game, where you usually did something similar to block enemies from placing portals. But those are the least important changes for me. My initial objection to Splitgate 2 was the complete focus on loadouts and unlockable weapons/perks, and that has also been somewhat addressed now, as the game now features permanent playlists that go back to the fixed loadout system, where everyone starts with the same weapons, and everyone has the EMP grenade that destroys portals. Basically, in the classic arena playlist, the game is simply a more polished and far prettier version of the original Splitgate. There is both a classic arena playlist that has team deathmatch and your standard arena modes, and also a classic 3 vs 3 takedown mode. Shotty Snipers, of course, also has even starts, which is obvious given the mode. And man, having these modes where I can just ignore the loadouts, where weapons spawn on the map, and when no one has any advantage because he has unlocked more perks or better weapon mods, is just so nice. But even the loadout-based modes now feel more like an arena shooter than before. Those modes are like a hybrid of a loadout and arena shooter now. The power-ups being pickups now actually makes controlling the map more rewarding. And that is what arena shooters are all about, map control. I am a lifelong Halo player, and Halo has been very disappointing the last decade or so. And to me, this Splitgate, the Splitgate with no loadouts, is exactly what my classic Halo soul needed. With its far superior controller aim feel, after I heavily adjusted it of course, its smoother game feel overall, and its far more skill-based gunplay, and its actually fun movement, this is far better than any of the more modern Halo games. Those Halo games always try to be faster and quote-unquote modern, but constantly failed at it. 343 Industries had no issue removing the core essence of Halo and replacing it with some wannabe modern facsimile, but somehow refused to ever improve the core gunplay and controller feel of Halo. That is all somehow still stuck in the year 2004. But let's not turn this into an anti-Halo rant. I made a whole video already to do that. But it's of course impossible to talk about Splitgate without mentioning its very obvious inspiration. And in my opinion, Splitgate absolutely wipes the floor with Halo Infinite. The controller feel, the movement feel, the gunplay, it's all so much better than Halo 5 or Halo Infinite ever were. This new version of Splitgate is almost everything I wanted it to be. I only have a handful of small issues with it. Like how I am not 100% happy with either of the 2 reaction curves they offer, as I prefer one that is almost exactly between these 2. And maybe a classic No Portals playlist would be cool. There is already a No Portals playlist with loadouts, so if that's something you like, that's cool I guess, but having one without loadouts would be really great. And the last little issue is that some of the SMGs are way too good at long range. I feel like a more obvious separation between long-range and close-range weapons would be nice. It's only been a few days, but I'm absolutely loving this new Splitgate Arena Reloaded. But again, maybe call it Splitgate 2.0 or something, I don't know. And also, don't be scared to bring the Battle Royale mode back. That was the only thing in the original beta release that I actually kinda liked. It's not an urgent request, but it can't hurt, I think. If you are a fan of arena shooters, if you are a fan of Halo, or if you are a fan of shooters with fun movement, I think this game might be for you. If someone like me, who hated the original version, can love this version this much, I bet you can too.